Hey guys, welcome back to Shredcraft RC. I'm Cam, and today it's something a little different and not an RC drift car. So I don't know if you guys can tell yet by what I'm building here, but there's a new form of competition for RC crawlers coming into town here, and it's called We Rock RC. And basically it's like an extreme buggy rock crawling competition. So last month I custom ordered an RC Speedy chassis, and then I have some extra Vanquish parts from my Class 1 build. So I'm going to build my first moon buggy type of thing, and I've never really done that before, but with the terrain that we have out here in Colorado, it kind of makes sense to have a rig like this. So there's three classes that they're going to run. There's 1.9 Pro Mod, there's 1.9 Unlimited, and there's 2.2 Unlimited. So basically, since I kind of like the small tire trucks and the scale stuff, which this competition format is 100% scaled or geared towards, I'm gonna build a buggy for the 1.9 Pro Mod class, which means it has to have straight axles, dig is allowed, and no rear steer is allowed. So then when you get to 1.9 Unlimited is when you can have rear steer and cutting brakes and all sorts of wild stuff in these buggies. Probably a little more advanced for me to jump into something like an Unlimited class. So here's kind of the base setup of what I'm going to go for on the 1.9. The chassis is not here yet, and then I still am going to Cerakote it just like I did these and then these bead lock rings. So fuel cell to kind of hide the electronics, the receiver, that type of stuff. Vanquish VFD twin. This is running the lightweight machined front gears, the aluminum motor plate, and then the aluminum standoffs there. And then I'm going to run the F10 straight axles, and actually I think I'm going to take the metal axles off the Class 1 truck and then put these plastic ones to keep the Class 1 truck lighter. This truck has to be 7 pounds, over 7 pounds. You also have to have a driver figure that's at least 6 inches tall in a realistic seating position, in a seat, dashboard, steering wheel, all the interior stuff, shifter, all that stuff. So it'll be fun to scale build some of that. This is the F10 rear is going to go on, and then I have Maxxis Trepadors on some knockoff wheels. Keep them clean though. These do have an offset hub, and then you have to paint the brass, so painted the brass black. These are Traxxas GTS-T shocks, basically what you'd find on a TRX4 High Trail, but what I did is built them with an internal spring, so these only extend to 100 mil, and then the rears I have set up at 110, and the fronts are set up at 100, with a droop spring inside under the piston to kind of keep them with a lower ride height. It's kind of hard to show one-handed because I can't pull it, but they still work fine. I changed the O-rings to RC drift car O-rings just because I think they might be smoother than the X-rings that come in these, but we'll see how those work. The shocks always need tuning once you get the rig built, because you got to build them for the weight of the chassis once all the electronics and everything. The motor, I'm going to go take out my Hobbywing Fusion 2-in-1. It's the Fusion Pro, so it's 2300 kV, and I like that because it's a clean setup. You don't have to mount an ESC, and it mounts right into the VFD twin there. So that's the overview, and we'll continue this when the chassis gets here. Show you what that looks like. Maybe some of the Cerakoting process, because I'm wondering if I should do a few more details just to kind of scale it out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this one. See you on the next clip. Alright guys, so the chassis actually has come in, and I went ahead and started Cerakoting the chassis just to give it a little extra protection. And this again is the RC Speedy OAA chassis. It's a replica of a European company's rock crawler buggy. I think they call it the Assassin. The Assassin is the 1-to-1 size, so I did Cerakote the axles, but I left some pink on those just, you know, for some breast cancer awareness or support. I actually lost my mom to cancer, so it is a little tribute, just something nice to do. And then I have the rear axle here bolted in, and I may have to adjust the pinion angle a little. This is kind of mock-up. And then rear shocks are on, and I'm going to go ahead and get to work on getting the front axle and shocks put on. I kind of have to strip down a few of my other rigs to get a few parts off of. So this will be a timely process, but also the driver, because part of the rules is you have to have a full scale driver. So here is my guy. He's a G.I. Joe. I liked it because he kind of had like a Denver Broncos jersey. We're here in Denver. And then he has a helmet too. So that was encouraged in the rules. So I am going to build this to a Pro Mod spec, which is straight axles, 1.9 inch wheels, and full scale kind of realism. You have to hide all the wires. The only electronics that can show are your servo and your servo wire. So I'm gonna have to get creative because there's not a lot of room in here. Figure out how I'm gonna mount a battery and keep it hidden. Normally people strap them down back here, it looks like, but I am gonna put this fuel cell, I think, back here, and that will house the receiver. So I'm gonna get to work here and see how far I can get, and I'll show you guys, fill you in on the next clip when I start figuring out some of these things, and as I get a little further. But I hope you enjoy this. It's coming along. So I made a little progress here on the OAA RC Speedy chassis. Got the axles all bolted up, tires are on. Got the seat in there, battery, servo. Receivers in the box, got the box mounted. And then kind of playing with some of the geometry here. Initially it feels pretty good, so I think we're gonna have to go scrub these tires and take it for a test rip.